All right, let's go ahead and get started. Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Gotta go over flags.
State of Florida. All right. Roll call of the officers. President, not here. Vice President, not here. Treasurer,
Here.
here. Baseball Commissioner, here. Softball Commissioner,
Here.
Secretary,
Here.
members at large,
Here.
Justin,
Here.
what's your name again? Sky, and Dave.
Here.
All right. Did everybody have a chance to look at last month's meeting minutes?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. I move to vote those minutes in.
Second.
Everybody that agrees?
Aye.
Everybody agree? Anybody that does not agree? All right. Minutes are voted in. President's report. Zilch. Vice President's report. Zilch. Treasurer's report.
Treasurer is still trying to get access to QuickBooks.
Working on QuickBooks. Okay. I think when we get to the village, you can let us know again what we still need from that, from the financial side, so we can get that jotted down. Okay. I guess it's my turn now. Baseball Commissioner's report. Getting ready for spring is a big thing. Numbers look pretty good for where we're at. We're probably 2 weeks plus or minus out from evals. My experience is those numbers usually double that last week, which put us in a pretty good spot, more than we had in the fall, from what I can tell. We're going to post another paid ad on Facebook pretty soon. We did one kind of as a trial, probably, I don't know, I think it's when we first opened registration up. It definitely got a lot of traffic. I got some questions that came to me, kind of through, the direct message thing. So it seemed to work pretty good. I mean, it's good that everybody, shares and does whatever on their own Facebooks, but what I've realized is that everybody that's being shared to kind of already knows. So I don't know that we're hitting any new people. The ads is what hits new people, because it just goes off of demographics. And I posted the ad, and I think we ran it for about a week. And I saw the ad in my regular feed. I don't even know how many times, at least once a day, just as I was scrolling through there. So seemed to work pretty good. So we're gonna give that another go, for sure. What else? We'll talk a little bit more about dates and evals and all that stuff. I think in when we get to old and new business, I'll kind of leave that for later. Travel teams are kind of starting back up as far as practices go and everything else. So I think this season, right, we're gonna have, at least from a baseball perspective, right now we have 9U, 11U, and 12U, and I don't know anything about like the 13 or 14 one that they were.
13U has another tryout Friday, and then they'll go from there if they can.
Okay. The other three, I mean, I'm pretty sure I know my 9U and 12U are done. I'm pretty sure 11U is done too. So I think tryouts are over and rosters are full and done. So I think the majority of those kids are playing rec. I know every team like mine's got one or two that aren't, because they just don't live close enough, and they're going to take the opportunity to play another sport and then just play travel, which I think is going to be something that's going to happen. Be nice if they all played, but realistically, you can't. There's no way you can get 100% of those kids to play usually. Um, what else? We do have two additional pitching machines for 8U. They're sitting in my garage. They'll be put together and put in that room. So I think we will actually have a machine for each coach. And I know we kind of discussed making that part of their equipment. That way, nobody's got to worry about the room being locked and unlocking the room and that sort of thing. So that'll be a big help for sure. What else? I think that's it. The rest of the stuff I have, we can cover sort of in the other areas. Softball commissioner.
Okay, I don't have much. Same thing, getting ready for evals. The numbers right now, I was just pulling them up again. They don't look good. But we know they hopefully will be going up soon. Um, there, there have been some concerns brought to my attention regarding last season that I want to look into going forward for next season and discuss. The mixing the 6U and 8U girls is something we're looking at that probably wasn't the best idea. We gave it a go last season, but moving those 6U girls back over to T-ball, baseball, and then having them transfer over to softball at 8U seemed to work out better. So that's one thing we've been talking about and looking at, that I've been talking about and looking at with people. The I'm going to need probably some support and help in getting people out for the evals to help eval. I think I learned some things from the first evals that we had that I participated in last season in possibly mixing up so the coaches that moving the 10U coaches over to eval for 8U and things like that might be helpful, just so we have some, not that anybody would mess with numbers, but so that we have trustworthy numbers and it's more even across the board is my hope. That being said, I also think at some point looking at mixing that 14 and 12U. I'm hoping that our numbers are up and we can try to separate some of these things. It is my hope. We'll see in the next couple weeks. If anybody has any ideas on getting the numbers up, I'm willing to hear it. I know we've had ideas brought to us, but we've never really followed through and voted anything through that would do that, such as we did the discount. I think that was helpful. But if there are if you all can think of anything that we could do to help increase the numbers, I'm open to it. I've shared and posted all I can, and I think Tony had a good point, and I'm going to reach the same people, and most of the people I know are already playing, or they don't live close enough to play. They play elsewhere. So that's it. But travel's going really well. This is one thing that I'm really excited about. Is in the past, since I've been around at least, it's maybe different prior, but anytime we've started to just try to start a travel team from scratch that hasn't worked out or happened with softball, it's always been kind of launched off of one of our all-star teams. So we have some coaches that have put together and are going to be presenting. I know we'll hear in a little bit to the board an 8U team, and that's the first time that's happened. So that's a really good thing. I've also heard that they're going to be asking for an additional 12U team, so that shows growth with the program, and to me that's really exciting because we've struggled to have travel softball for a while, so this is all good stuff. That's it.
All right, thank you. Secretary. Learn QuickBooks. Oh, I'm sorry. I jumped again.
Has to do with opening ceremonies, so maybe we'll just touch there later. I just secured a couple of vendors if that goes down. Other than that, you all know our numbers. I've tried to post them every couple of days, and that's it. Not much to discuss. That's all.
All right. Village report.
So a couple weeks ago, met with met with Glenn and went over the fields and found some problem areas. So the guys are out working on those, trying to get those corrected for the season. Um, I know right now we have new nets um, that are being ordered for the batting cages over at Farron to get those replaced. Um, I got the rosters from the fall, calculating out that non-resident maintenance fee, so I will get that to you as soon as I get it done. Should be by the end of the week. And Lauren, I have the sheet here for you. I give you the calendar of articles due for financials. Pretty much right now is still the CPA review, taxes, and the quarterly reports. And then along with that, each month we do monthly bank statements as well. So I'll give you this. That way you can have it. And like I said, it has all the dates when everything is due coming up. Um, Other than that, just working on getting everything ready for the start of the season. One thing I do want to say, the 28th or 29th, I believe it was, we were supposed to have PBSO doing a kickball tournament. That is canceled. So that's
Oh, you made me nervous. I'm like, we have something. What do we have on the 29th? Something's on the.
no, I
It's
think
our
it's
draft.
the
So we were going to
draft.
be at Rec Center, so
Yeah.
we're okay. But now
Yeah,
you
it's
have
the
that
draft day.
open. Okay.
But it is open now, so
Okay.
if you needed
Good
anything.
news. You scared me, Brandon. Thank you.
And that is it right now.
Did we ever get a answer as far as having a company come in and till the fields?
So not that wouldn't happen now. We still don't have a definite answer on it. It's something I'm trying to get in the summer months when it's actually growing season for grass. But as of right now, we don't have a definite answer on that. But it's something I'm working on trying to push. At least if we can get it, maybe something done once every couple of years, so that they can come out laser level, do those kind of things, and then we can just maintain. When it gets to a point again, get somebody else to come out. It's just something we don't have a definite answer on yet.
And they're going through the fields because I was at field 5 and it was like you could fit my daughter in the hole in front of the rubber.
Home plate.
No, in the pitching rubber.
Oh, on field 5.
Yeah.
That they're gonna be doing that
Okay.
mound and making sure, because home plate is sunken in. We were out there. It rained, and you could see how deep that puddle was.
Yeah.
So five might be the last one they get to, but they're definitely gonna be getting to it.
Before eval.
Yeah, before you bow.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. That does it for reports. So let's vote them in. A motion to vote in the reports for this month.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. So moving on to old business. Spring dates. Obviously, evals 22nd. And we're talking about makeup evals on what? I mean, during that week, right?
25th and 26th. Do you want to do both nights or just play it by ear?
Pick one night.
See if
Yeah, I think we do it on the 25th, and if we have
And
to
then
do
range
something,
out.
26th if we have to. Okay.
I suspect we're gonna have some kids that can't come, COVID-wise.
Yeah.
Which is what we've had for the last couple seasons, but
Well, what should we make it later in the week? Because if they tested positive or whatever, if give them enough time to be negative,
The draft is that Saturday.
make it Friday.
So, yeah, I mean, hopefully everybody will be there anyway on Friday night for the coaches clinic. So I don't think it would be hard
I
to.
don't know if we want to
Well, I
do
don't think
both.
we can do it the night of coaches clinic.
Yeah, maybe Thursday.
Hopefully there's only, yeah, I mean,
The-
you want to just play it by ear? Like set the 25th as the makeup and then,
was
hopefully-
25th is Wednesday.
yeah.
Oh, so it's
Oh.
Tuesday.
Well,
26th is
registration
Wednesday.
closes on the 24th. Right?
24th, yeah. Is everybody okay with holding it open a little bit? And I was even thinking about 14U. because those girls could still be could be high school too, right? 14 could be high school. So maybe we hold that off. I don't know when the high school tryouts are for baseball. I have to call. We can check. Because I didn't either. Do you know? Okay.
So we probably
So
won't know
I
for
would
a
like to
week
leave them
after
over
that.
for at least a week. Yeah, registration. Because anybody that doesn't make the team, we want them. Boys and softball and baseball. That would be ideal. Okay. Keep it open for a little bit. We can do that.
We
Well-
we can't hold the entire draft based on
Yeah,
One age?
one division.
Why? I don't know. I mean, after the fact, it could be. Well, we would just do like we would do any other age group where, in the past, maybe where you just have an order. This is whoever's next in line.
yeah. Whoever's got
That
the
can
least
be
number of players
expanded.
gets the next player.
Yeah.
No, we're saying we're going to do that after the fact. We're adding them to the rosters. We're not doing draft or anything. We can't. Next in line in the draft. From a score perspective.
Yeah. That.
Yeah, but it's by score.
But now it's by score. Yeah. We've adopted a new.
I mean,
draft
we'll have
system.
we'll play it by ear. Make sure. Yeah, we'll make sure it makes sense.
That yeah. Then we just have to worry about making sure. We want to make sure the teams are as balanced.
I mean,
as possible.
usually whoever has the lowest score is going to have at least
The
one
least
less
amount of
kid,
players,
but
yeah.
it's possible that it doesn't happen that way. So we'll have
We can
to.
work on a case by
yeah.
case. I just want to make sure. I just want to make sure you guys are okay with keeping it open a little bit longer.
Yeah, we'll close the
Base-
rest of them,
Okay. Yeah.
but we leave those open.
Everybody else is closed. Okay.
Yeah.
The draft is the 29th.
Following Saturday. Yes, actually. So talking about dates, right? So 22nd, probably the 26th, maybe for the makeup draft. 29th, right?
Yes.
And then coaches clinic and all that stuff is the Friday before.
28th. Yes.
So that's 28th.
I think that Karen posted today that about the draft, the makeups being on the 25th and 26th. So I don't
Right.
know if we should. Well, whatever. I'll just send out an email anyway.
Yeah, and we're gonna have to reach out to the people that didn't come.
Yeah.
We'll have to see
Okay.
who didn't
All
come, so we can be more specific with
So
them.
you want to stay with 26 for makeups? That makes sense.
Yeah, that's fine.
Give them a little bit more time. Okay.
And then in theory, the first practices are gonna be the Monday.
Start the week of the 31st. Yeah.
Right.
So some people will practice Monday, some Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever.
Right. Yeah.
Practices begin.
And then what is the first game?
Games will begin 2/19 with opening ceremonies, if we're allowed to still have them. Everything good with that? Nothing's changed, Brandon? Nothing's changed with opening ceremonies. We're still good?
Yes,
as
right now we're still
allowed
good.
to have it?
I haven't
Okay.
gotten any
No.
no on it. So
Okay, good.
So don't say anything.
That's
No
gonna
new-
yeah.
no
So
news
we're
is
just
good
we're just gonna be
news.
quiet on the yeah. We're just until but that's the 28th. I'm sorry, 2/18.
Yeah.
Games begin on the 19th. Opening ceremonies on the 18th.
Okay. Is that all the dates? That
Yeah.
important dates.
Speaking of the opening ceremony, the 12U travel team for Cooperstown, talking about having them host all the bounce houses and dunk tanks and stuff, so that way their proceeds can go towards Cooperstown tickets.
Setting up fundraiser. Yeah.
So
They want to do the games.
Is it just 12U that's going, or is 11U taking another ticket?
just 12U, then the next year will be.
No, we have two.
We got
have
All
two
Star
tickets.
Village, but we don't have a team to send.
I didn't know if Glenn had. He talk. He said he was going to talk to
He
11
has
teams.
to talk. He has to find out if they're going to be willing to
I
go.
don't think we
Otherwise,
know
we
yet.
can't just. We won't have a. He's calling to.
We'll rent it.
He was calling to. Well, I mean,
We'll get it
I
rented.
don't know how that works.
Yeah, we discussed it. Found out how to do it.
Okay.
So we'll rent it out if they're not going to take it.
All right. It would be. I mean, I had thought, what if everybody, all the travel teams, take a game? So maybe.
Let the Cooperstown guys
Yeah.
have that because that's a $25,000 tournament.
Mm-hmm. We good with that? Yeah. So if they wanna, if the team wants to put on a game, we don't. Whatever they decide, whatever they come up with.
I assumed that we were gonna have, we'll set it up. We'll have bounce houses there, dunk tanks, carnival style,
Mm-hmm.
and they're just gonna run it. I mean,
Yeah.
like a ticket booth. Like they're almost like no choice. Hey, you want to go to Coopertown? Here,
Yeah.
you need to, get
Put
some
in your
time
time.
and effort.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can deal with setting it up too
Yeah,
and breaking it down.
yeah. I'm down with that.
Are we? Alright.
Oh yeah, please litter.
All right. Anything else on dates? If not, says update rules on website.
You guys all went over them.
Yes.
I don't know how to take them off and change them. Amy McCarroll had sent me she actually she's the one that added those. So I don't know how to. I need your computer
Yeah, you
sky,
like a PDF
computer
file you can take
skills.
down now.
Yeah, you just given to me. Did we update the file? Like we haven't updated
No,
the
I
file.
have to do that.
Okay.
I have to. I'm just gonna.
Yeah, because it's just a
Redo
PDF
them.
file that's loaded on there. So I think.
But I want to get that done before we.
Yeah, as long as you give me the
Manager's
file, I'll
meeting.
figure out how to
Okay.
swap them out.
Tony will handle.
Field walkthrough with Village. I know Brandon, you mentioned a few things. I'm not even sure if it was on the list, but something that I remember. The lights on field 4. I mean, all the bulbs work, but they're just dim. Is that anything?
We popped them on, and I would say there are about 5 of them out.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Yeah.
You just couldn't tell, I don't think, from the. I mean, it
Yeah.
looked like they were all on, but
Yeah, at night if they're all, I mean, once they're on, you're just looking up and you
yeah.
can't really tell because they're so bright. But yeah, there's about
So-
5 of them out.
Okay.
But those are in the process of being replaced. So the company that does the light towers, we've been in contact with them, working on getting the bulbs and getting them replaced. So don't have a date when they'll be done, but it is.
Okay.
We're trying to get it done before the season starts because once you turn them on, you can see how it kind of.
It's dark in the outfield.
Dark in some areas, especially the outfield, like coming in.
Yeah.
And even right behind home plate, there's some spots there too.
Are they just replacing the ones that are out, or are they going to replace them all? Because metal headlights, as their life goes on, they lose their
Start
lumens.
losing out. No, so they're just replacing the ones that are out. Yeah, eventually, those towers get replaced just like the ones on field 3. So I think that's why they just want to go with the ones that are out for now.
All right. Does anybody else have any other questions about the walkthrough? That was one I wasn't sure about. As far as the items go, did they do that something weird in center field on field 3?
Yeah, where it keeps.
It's like a volcano out
Yeah.
there. It was
Still haven't
like
figured out.
there was a thing and then a crater in the middle of it.
Still haven't figured out what it is either.
I know it was filled. It got filled in like the crater, but
Yeah, but it
Weird.
keeps like
Is it-
over time. It just keeps rising back up like that.
it was. I don't know about now, but
That's-
it kept sort of opening up again.
Yeah,
That's been like that since my kid started Tengu, and that was 5 years ago.
5 years ago. I don't know what it. You know if there's a pump, a sprinkler pump up under there, or something that's causing it. But
Could be. Has
they,
it?
it's weird because there's no water or anything coming out of it. But they
Right.
they took care of it. It's one of those things we have to keep an eye on. If it keeps doing it,
I got you.
they might have to dig it out.
Um. questions on that one? All right. Workshop, parents, coaches, code of conduct.
I was just, we'll just get a generic code of conduct that kind of has touches all the bases. There might be some. You're right. There might be ones upstairs.
I mean, isn't it on the side of the building?
Yeah, I could just take a picture and then
Yeah.
type that back up. All right.
And we're
I'm on it.
still
Yeah, I
gonna
got
have
this.
all the parents like sign one.
There we go.
That's
I got
the one.
one.
That is the one
Perfect.
in the
That is the one
provider
for
agreement.
okay.
Yeah.
Good deal.
So
It's
that
taken
first,
care of.
that first practice, coaches will have.
Yeah, we should have a stack printout.
Yeah,
We
just
will.
print out a
I'll
stack
go
of.
They pick
whatever.
their number, how many people they got, they get that plus a couple of copies.
What do you mean?
That's players.
Oh,
that's
at drafts.
At draft.
that's
and then
coaches.
Coaches.
Coaches, parents,
Okay.
board.
Great. Good deal. Coaching and parents. So that solves problems. Thank you.
All right. Anything else for old business? Or we put the wrap on that. All right. New business. New travel 8U 12U softball.
This is your time.
Our 8U guys are here.
Press the button on there. Yep. Hello. All right. I'm James. I was on. My daughter was fortunate enough to be on Amy's team last year. She was younger. The AU team, all-star team, moved up, and I would like to officially form a AU travel team. I do have 10 girls that are very interested, ready to commit. So I'd like to present and get a vote for an AU travel team.
Anybody have any questions?
All playing rec as separate, or are they trying to do like what Amy's doing? Currently, I have 8 out of 10 girls signed up. I got to confirm the other 2. I may have 12 or may have 10. I mean, like, but you're not trying to keep them a travel team as a rec. No, I did the research and found out because we had this discussion. Yeah. Before and yes. No, they are playing. I'm also with Amy and hoping that we can play strictly 8U softball, not 6U and 8U mixed. It did not work in fall. I had complaints both ways with 6U parents saying the 8U were too aggressive for them, and then 8U parents saying they didn't get any advancement because they were playing 6U.
What are your qualifications?
I know Dave Mancuso. I've been involved in the league for 6 years with my son.
Yeah.
Mackenzie's, this will be her 3rd season. Traveled the world with Miss Amy here. Yeah.
All right. Let's put it up for a vote.
Second.
Motion to allow.
Is it? We
Yeah.
just do a motion.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, motion to allow a new 8U team for softball.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
I think that was everybody. So
And then I also have a from the 12U. He wasn't
yes,
able to be here
12U
tonight.
is next. Yeah.
Give me a second. Okay. This is from Kyle Dubbs. Unfortunately, I will not be able. It's an email that he sent to admin. Fortunately, I will not be able to attend the board meeting due to lack of coaches out with illness. But I would like to be approved as the manager of the 12U 2010 team Rebellion Travel Softball Team. I've been coaching at the Willows since 2015. I've coached in many age divisions ranging from T-ball, 10U, 12U, 15U, 10U, and 12U softball. My ultimate goal is to continue to see the Willows grow and have a competitive team to compete with in travel and all-stars. Please let me know if you need anything else. Kyle Dubbs. He's asking for the, I guess it would be 11-year-olds. What is that, 2010 age division? He wants the 2010 softball.
They're 12U, but
12U,
they're the
but
younger.
the younger of the 12. First year 10, 12? Yeah. Okay.
So a second.
So there's
12,
no
13.
like 11U, 12U stuff.
There's
and
not
stuff.
enough.
Oh, so there's
softball
still
for that. It's
20.
still 12U.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
I know for baseball, this was brought up where there was somebody who wanted to start a second 9U baseball team out of our park, and we kind of nixed the idea because, well, for a lot of reasons, but one of them is field space. Quite frankly, is that not? No, does anybody have any issues with?
The it,
I-
it's so with softball it's 12U. So like we have 11U and a 12U baseball team.
Right.
This is going to be a 2010 birth
So it's
year and a
technically the same thing.
2009 birth year.
They also said they're going to practice at the same time. Both 12U teams would practice
Oh.
at the same time on the same field. I forgot to mention that. And I think we got Camellia Park.
Yeah.
As long as we pay for the nights that we're going to use.
Yeah.
That's right. That was a
so you can use
stipulation.
Camellia, but you just have to pay the typical rental fee for it,
Which is
$20 an hour.
20 an hour.
Yeah.
So that's something maybe we need. Well,
Write that
I
down
don't-
so I don't forget.
they practice a couple nights a week. I mean, anybody, whoever. I mean, I think we can.
I think if they're going to use an extra field, maybe seeing if they would pay for it themselves as opposed to asking the league to pay for it if it really comes down to it. If that's the only field that they can use.
No, it's just an extra. I think we might.
But if they're practicing together,
They're
I don't see
practicing
that they're
together,
gonna
so
need
it's gonna
anything
be-
as far as like an extra
Yeah,
field.
and if it's not a problem, I decided to just bring it up. Something
No,
else.
that's
They're
a
the
good
same
point.
age
No, that is
Yeah, that we
because
had a-
we
we
are
had an
going to
issue.
face that at this point with.
But as long as they're practicing together, I don't see that
Yeah.
it would be an issue.
Yeah, that's a benefit. Camellia Park. It's
Looks like it's part of Seminole Palms, but
you know where
it's
the
not.
basketball courts are on that little service road. Yeah, it's not all the. It's not Seminole Palms. Not all the way. Yeah.
Everybody thinks it's part of Seminole Palms.
No.
It's not. Okay. So let's. Anybody else have anything to say about the 12U before we bring it up for vote? No.
No.
Okay. All right. So I make the motion to allow the additional 12U softball team.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any objections? Okay, done. Mr. Kyle Dubs. Yes. Go ahead.
As part of the 8U team, the name of the team, there's been discussion back and forth. I was asked to come up with a new name, or whatever through text. I brought it to my girls. That I have girls that played on Amy's team that are continuing down. They turned it down. They want to be called the Beast. I brought it to the parents. Asked all the parents that have inquired about it. There was no questions. Nobody had anything against it. They did not want to be called Rebellion because I asked about that. I'm open to anything. I do not have any care in this, but my girls, the parents, the team, that's who's deciding all this, and they would like to be called the Beast. I have done research. There are multiple teams, softball teams, called the Beast, and for ordering wise, I'm ordering with Amy, and would like to save as much money as possible and order together. So requesting the name to be Beast, RPB Beast.
I 100% am against that. And Glenn is too. I don't want to be the beasts. I think if it comes down to it, we need to just. Nothing was ever voted on. I don't like rebellion either necessarily.
We had parents
but-
say absolutely no on Rebellion.
Yeah, I mean,
So
it's ultimately it needs to be the board's decision, not parents' decision or children's decision. But it doesn't need to be. I think we should all
Well-
come up with. I mean, it was there was discussion of having a brand starting with the youngest 8U division. Obviously, there was miscommunication between the 8U and the 12U, and that's how we came up with two names in the first place. Because like the baseball, we're all predators.
yeah,
Not everybody liked the predators, but we're all predators.
I can explain how that happened.
No, I mean it's irrelevant at this
Well,
point.
I
And I
thought
know,
we-
and you're not you're not in the wrong because I realize that they started rebellion before anything was agreed on, but we need to figure out a solution. And I thought the solution was going to start with 8U
Well,
and just
yeah.
let them kind of grow out with the rebellion.
Well, two votes of not liking Beast, saying it's insulting to girls. Our girls were the ones that picked the name. Our girls are the ones that are on the team, and you go out to a field, you say, hey, that kid hits a bomb, that kid's a beast, is not an insult. None of our girls take it as an insult. I don't know why adults take it as an insult.
I wouldn't. I don't care what the name is, but I thought before we even started the 10U softball this last fall, I can probably bring up the text too. Like baseball was going to be predators throughout, no matter what division is, and softball was supposed to be the same all the way throughout the division.
Which is exactly what it was supposed to be. We weren't
Yeah.
supposed to pick a name till we agreed on it with the 12U, and they went rebellion. We had a parent that felt it was racist, so we didn't even want to go that way. But Beast was always what our girls had wanted, so we went that route, and that's something I guess we need to vote on or figure out. But
I mean, like I said, I
but
don't care
we're
what the name
ordering
is.
jerseys, so it's like we need to figure this out. Like if our first game's on the 30th, we've got to get our order in.
I thought there was discussion of just doing RPB on the front. Because in the summer, and when we're all-stars, we're just going to be all-stars.
There are multiple tournaments that do special jerseys that are different things, and they have their names, like the Gators and different things. They have their names on it, so that's one of the things that was brought up.
I mean,
are we going to vote on all the teams, or we're just deciding for 8U?
well, what happened, from my understanding, because there was, okay, I mean, I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, but there was, the travel coordinator was supposed to get everybody everybody organized and pick a name. That didn't happen. I'm not saying it's just kind of bygones be bygones. Let the 12U stick with their name. Let you guys stick with Beasts because it wasn't handled correctly in the first place. But then with the new 8U team, the younger team, it was supposed to come through, start there and start the brand and kind of let the rebellion age out in 2 years, and that was gone. And then, but I mean,
I'm gonna have multiple girls that move up to her basically 9U team, and we want to have the same jerseys and be the same. I have 3 girls that can right now play USSSA 10U on her team if she has an opening. I want to have the same jerseys. 8U and 10U are going to everything together. They're doing everything together. So that's the problem I'm running into, and you can call it a new team, but I have multiple girls that are coming down from that team to be that are already established.
I think I'm confused as to why people are finding it offensive or upset by this when this is something you can look it up. There's a team in Georgia. There's a team in Tennessee. There's teams all over the country, softball teams that are really good. I've watched videos of some of them, and that's their names. The Beast. I'm confused as, I mean, no offense, but we have the Predators on grown men walking around, and if I want to put the Beast on me, like, I'm confused of why if everybody that's playing likes it and nobody is complaining that is wearing this, why the outside concern is such a big thing. We had a coach come and say that rebellion was racist. Nobody fought that, right? I'm not agreeing with it. I'm not. But I'm saying there was
silly. I know.
There was a complaint.
But the rebellion is completely different.
I'm not.
I just
hang on. That's not the point.
We completely agree, Martin. But
the point is, we let them do what they wanted. It was their team. What is offensive about these little girls, 8-year-olds, wanting to be called the Beasts because they're looking up to the 10U team? The 10U girls are the kind of big sisters to them, taking an interest, showing up. So they look up to them. They've been watching them and wanting to do this. I'm just confused as why it's offensive. I agree.
Yeah.
You're not gonna make everybody happy.
that was the plan. It didn't, unfortunately, it didn't work out that way. Well, then maybe we need to bring this up at the next,
Well,
board meeting and vote on it.
He wants to
No,
order
because
uniforms.
we need to order uniforms.
Well, you
have
guys order
games.
uniforms, and then let them order RPB uniforms, and if they turn out to be,
We're ordering together.
No, we're together.
We're doing this
ordering in
together.
bulk that's our.
then I don't,
I'm.
we need
I
to
mean,
have
I
a
get-
vote then and see what, if everybody wants to do
Yeah.
Bs. It should be,
Well, we have. I understand Glenn doesn't like it. Mike does. Neither one of them here, so they cancel each other out. So we have a board here of 7. So I don't see why we don't vote on
we
it.
can vote.
I mean, does
I
anyone
have-
else up here have concerns with the name
What,
Beast?
we don't
Yeah,
have any
I
other
have-
options? There's no other options.
One second. Can I say something? Because I have a personal relationship with these little girls, and I'm picturing going and telling these little girls who have been calling themselves that, and they're excited and invested in this. Hey, you can't be this because there's adults that don't like it. Like,
They can be called the Beasts. Their shirt doesn't have to say Beasts. Call them Beasts if you want. Put RPB
can you
on their
explain
shirts.
to me what the problem is with
I
it?
don't like it. I think it just doesn't seem, it's not, it doesn't represent, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. We've been trying to, if we get into conversation.
As a parent of the Predators, I was not a fan of it.
I was not either.
So, I mean, I agree that I feel like grown men walking around with Predator across their shirt and little boys. Also, I appreciate that the new swag is just the icon versus. So I'm just saying I agree with Amy that if softball is not a financial sport for these girls, unfortunately, because baseball takes the money. So if these girls are looking at older teams and adult, or young adult females, then they should be able to run with it. And I think you guys should put it to a vote tonight so they can get it ordered, because I know the financial burden when we started on the All-Star teams with the 9U boys over the summer. We had to fundraise for those money, and to put that in an order, and for it to turn out incorrectly and have to order again. I don't think that's fair that that you don't think that they should be allowed to order right now.
I'm not saying don't order. I'm saying if we don't, isn't it, there's no,
Would it be, before we fully finish the thought, would it be a requirement of 12U to change their name as well then?
no, this is
we're
a
gonna
new,
let
we're not,
12U
we don't,
be
you don't have to
12U.
change, you don't have to change your name, but if you guys want to have matching jerseys, and that would, you go, the new team was not supposed to be Beast. It was supposed to be RPB. If we couldn't come up with
Who said it was supposed to be RPB? One
I
person.
believe the conversation between Mr. Grimes and Glenn, they were
And-
going to be RPB.
But that's one person.
That's the
it's
manager
a
of the
vote.
team.
It's a
That's-
board. It's not one
it's a
person doesn't
board,
like
not-
bees.
It was
and-
just a conversation that they had agreed upon before coming in here.
I'm actually okay with 12U changing their name too.
We
Like,
can make
pick-
everybody,
pick-
that's fine. I would absolutely be
The new name
in
and
agreement
change
with that. If we
everybody,
wanted everybody to
and-
change and get a brand. The thought process was to
Yeah,
not
absolutely.
make the older teams change. It was going to be, this is the youngest of the group. There was a miscommunication at the beginning with the older teams, the older 3, 10U, 11U, and 10U and 12U, whatever.
There was an agreement that was broken. It wasn't miscommunication.
Well, that wasn't, the person that was in charge did not put his foot down to make it happen, is the problem. He did not say, no, guys, don't order anything until this is agreed upon. And that was the mistake, yes. So I'm not faulting you for, having whatever. It was an ugly situation in the first place. The person that was in charge should have had his foot down. But the point is, starting with the youngest team, since everybody had ordered their stuff, rather than cause a ruckus, we were just, the new team coming in would be, and if we want to agree that the 11U team, that's also a new team coming in, if everybody wants to agree and have them let the 2009 Beasts and the one of them's 2009. the older rebellion that's already established and the beast that's already established. If you guys want to keep, stay the same, then if we want to make an agreement that all new teams starting from this point forward have to be the same, I mean,
I mean, they all can be the same. I mean, the people
there
that
have
are
to
on
be
these
options
teams
though,
this is the name they want, so why not vote on the name?
because it's our decision, not the parents' decision or
I
the
didn't
kids'
say
decision.
theirs. I said let's
So
vote
that's what
on
I'm
the
saying.
name.
Let's put a few names down and come up and have a vote.
Miss
Everyone
King,
that's here that's on softball on the board and travel has no issue with the beast.
do you have a vested interest as a parent on the 8U All Star team or on the 8U travel team?
No, I'm voting for
I'm just
I'm in-
asking if your daughter is on
I don't
the
know.
team.
She might try. She might want to try out. I
Okay,
don't know.
that's
I
all
don't
I
know.
was
Yeah,
asking.
she might. Or I mean,
I'm not on. I was just wondering if you're opposing the name as a parent of a child on that team, or if you were just opposing
no.
it
I'm just.
as
vo-
board.
It's not personal. I think it's awful. It's the worst name ever, and I
Can
can't.
I'm sorry.
It's not.
I'm gonna get. Have you played softball?
Why does that matter?
Because it's an being.
Yes, I have.
Okay.
In high school.
So in my mind, like being an athlete, it's not girly. It's not.
It's
Pretty.
not girly. No, it's not girly.
It's a name. It does sound kind of aggressive.
To me,
It's-
it has a
but
demonic connotation. That's it's a beast
here's-
demon.
So if you
Here's
call
the
them
problem.
tigers, tigers is a beast. You call
No,
them
a tiger is
wildcats,
an animal.
wildcats are
That's just
beasts.
it just has
I-
that connotation to me. That's where it is.
Ultimately, here's my dilemma: is going to explain to little girls that you can't be what you like. These are girls they've been looking up to. I do have a problem when we let the kids and the parents of the teams. That's how we got our name. I don't care. I don't want them to play ball. But when the kids and parents vote on it, and a lot of those parents are now 8U parents, this is carried over, trickle down. We're combined. We're all, you go to the
It's-
game, you're there all weekend, and the parents have on the shirts and the gear to support both teams because they're on both teams. But then we either then have to really disappoint these little kids because adults find something offensive. Sounds I'm sorry, it sounds insane to me. I may find something offensive with someone, but if it's not hurting me or harming me in any way, I'm going to leave that alone and move on and be happy with my day. I'm just confused, like why such an investment in fighting something, and that to me is baffling. I mean, I don't see why this is even a subject that's lasting this long. I don't know.
It's the
If
same
I
with
have
the
to
other
answer,
parent.
and we have built such a great like camaraderie amongst, you think of what 24, 26 families. If we go in as coaches and say the board decided you're changing your team names, it's a really bad look, and it sends a really bad, ridiculous message to a bunch of people that it looks petty, really.
I just have something that I have a little 6-year-old who'll be on the roster for the 8U girls who hates softball. Hates it. She, for the last year, watched her older sister on the Beasts destroy everybody in the state. Become runners up on the All-Star team, but they were the Beasts. You know what she did the last year? She said she's a beast. For the last year, she's been dying to be on a travel team, exactly like her sister, to do exactly what her sister does. She wears her sister's jersey, her sister's socks, all those things. So that's what I'm asking for. I don't care what it's called, but the little 6-year-old does, because her 8-year-old or her 9-year-old sister is on that team.
We have multiple little girls like that. We have Milan and Jada.
I mean, you look at it, it's not like you're out in a park and some kid calls your daughter a beast. They're playing softball. You're on the baseball fields, softball fields. You hear that term all the time. The kid makes an incredible play. They hit a bomb. That kid's a beast. It's not. I don't get. You could look at any. I could pick apart any name you put, and we could find somebody that's offended by it.
Martin, microphone. Sorry, bub.
My name's Martin McKenna. I think what it comes down to is some people just want a general brand for Royal Palm Beach. They want one name. Back 100 years ago, we were always the girls. Softball was always the Panthers. Boys were Lightning. That's just the way it was. Somewhere along the line, it changed. That's up to you guys. I don't think it makes a damn bit of difference. I don't care if you're 6-year-old, you're 8-year-old, you're 10-year-old, you're 12, you're 14. 2 weeks after you tell them the name's different, if it has to be different, they're not going to care. Everybody knew who we were, and we drew everybody into our facilities because Royal Palm Beach Panthers. So girls came from all over to play there because they were the Panthers, whether they were 8, 10, 12, 14. Same thing with baseball. It's just a matter of what you guys decide to do, that's all. But it's not what the kids want. It's not what the parents want. It's what the board decides of what goes down. Because like I said, the kids don't care. They're playing ball. They're not going to know nothing in 2 weeks anyway. I do have a question, though. 14U is trying to get a travel softball. So that means they have to play rec, right?
No, it ages out at 12.
It ages out at 12?
12U is the last.
Okay, because there's parents in the 12 right now division that are having a fit that they're going to be playing 9 and 10-year-old girls already.
They've already the 10-year-old team that's playing up.
Well, that's what they're talking about. There's parents saying they're not going to play.
Yeah, that's their agreement as a travel team in our park.
No, I'm talking about 12U parents saying they're not going to play rec against 9 and 10-year-old kids. So I'm just telling you, it's coming.
Yeah, we got some backlash about that.
They're talking about it over there right now tonight.
The thing is that none of them would know any of these girls' ages. They're the same size as half the 12
they know.
girls.
Believe me, you think they don't know?
They
I
shouldn't.
can
They
guarantee
shouldn't.
you
It's
that
not-
they won't know my kid is 10
They
years
won't.
old
I mean,
tomorrow.
half of Amy's girls are the same size, if not bigger, than the 12-year-olds. I'm with you.
Taller
They
than
know
Amy.
just because
But
they've
they
been around
shouldn't,
the
is my
park.
point.
But
They
anyway,
shouldn't have
that's
had
not-
any
that's not my
inclination.
problem. That's
They shouldn't have
y'all's
been
problem.
notified at all that they were a certain age, because they're all going to fit in. They're all going to be the right size. I mean, Emma's prime
I mean,
example.
my kid's probably taller than some of the 12U girls. In fact, I know for a fact she's taller than 4 of them because I've seen her at the field stand next to them. So when you see her on the field, you're not going to notice that she's 10 offhand because she's 5'2". So, I mean, from a standpoint of just looking at them, you wouldn't know which kids are which.
No.
If it becomes a safety issue, was what we agreed on as a board. If a player is unsafe, then it's going to be addressed at that time.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was a kid and played ball, we didn't even have team names. You were the yellow team. You were the gray team. I mean, I could really care less about the name. I would, personally, I think it's awesome that the boys' side is called the Predators. From top to bottom, I would like to see some uniformity with the softball side as far as the name goes. I mean, whatever the name is, but I think everybody should be the same.
I agree.
And, fact of the matter is, like, Beast or whatever, like, I don't even know we're going to be discussing this, quite honestly. And I don't even know if I feel bad about Beast or whatever. I think we put way too much into it. The product in the field is really what matters. So, I mean, if it's a uniformity thing, I'm 2 thumbs up for it. I mean, personally.
Yeah, my opinion is, I'm not in love with Beast either, but I don't really have any skin in that game, so to speak. As a parent personally, I do think the lack of uniformity is a bad deal. That's how you build a brand. That's why and it's absolutely true that some people don't like Predators, but nobody's gonna like everything, I guess is the point. You're never gonna make everybody happy. But the uniformity thing is not good, and I mean, I realize we're already there, right? Unfortunately, but that was bad to get that ball rolling, and I do definitely understand the concerns regarding making changes, knowing how much time I spend on uniforms and everything else, logos and all kinds of stuff. So it does suck to have to change the name, but I don't know. I mean, I'm sort of on the fence with the whole thing, but the uniformity thing I think is important.
Well, I don't think that I know we were saying 12U just fizzle out, but I think no. Like, Beach's gonna buy new uniforms, then so does Rebellion. Don't let them fizzle out. Like, change it.
Age out. Yeah.
Just change it from 8U if that's what we're gonna go to. Like, keep it uniform, and you know, if we say keep uniform as Beast, then Rebellion's gonna flip a top. Vice versa. So if cause you guys said they would be okay with it if Rebellion's gone too.
And it's not about that. I agree with like it being uniform, and that was I was stuck in the beginning when it was supposed to be uniform, and I talked to the travel coordinator, and that was the plan, and then they came up with the name, and then I have families telling me that name is racist, so I couldn't win at that point. I'm like, if I make our team name that, and I have people telling me this, I couldn't win. So we then just named ourselves for the time being. It seemed like this season, this is what we're doing. It wasn't to go against anything, and now here we are. I just got the uniform sent to me, the picture of them that we have, and now I'm stuck. I send it in to Alpha Prime for 8U and 12U. So if we're gonna eat all this cost, then they can eat all this cost too. I mean, that's
Color is something else.
Well, can
that
we
we
just
voted on.
can we first things? Okay, let me think about this for a second. Can we discuss any other options? I mean, or whatever.
I don't care. You guys just tell us who we are. We'll fix it. Move forward. I'm done.
Yeah, because if you're ordering uniforms, we need to
We
figure
have
out.
here's our uniforms.
It's
They're
all the
You're
people that have
you already
skin
ordered
on it
uniforms, so there's no
wanna be the
decision to be
beast,
made.
so
I mean,
don't
you already
see
ordered uniforms.
I have I don't know where they're at in the process of the uniforms. We've been working. I have other people doing it.
I mean, I don't expect you to change your team name. I don't want. That's not the point. The point was it wasn't done right in the beginning. So this is the new team, the youngest of the group. This is what we did with the boys. Everybody, remember Gene Hunter was in here, and I don't know if he didn't, the 11, 12, 13, 15, you didn't want to be Predators anymore because it had a bad, they didn't want to be in it. They didn't want to be Predators. But we said, this is the new generation, the new group of kids coming in. This is where the brand starts, and this is what we're going with. Tony's team was the first one to start, and that's where we went with it. And I mean,
Kickback for a while too, but
they did, and then that's where we started, and that was kind of the hopes, from my understanding, with the 8U team, that they were going to be the next generation and go on.
Their opposition was for a different reason, which I thought was stupid. It was just because those teams used to be bad, like skill wise.
Yeah.
Record wise, it's like it wasn't people don't like it because there's whatever.
And when I had the conversation with your husband, that was me. I brought it to the girls. I told them different stuff, and I was absolutely told no. We are the beast. I brought it to the parents, and I said they told me no.
So you can call yourself the Beast. Why can't your shirt just say RPB for the time being, and then we'll
If I'm
sort
gonna call
this
myself
out?
the beast, why can't I put it on? Because you find it offensive. I'm sorry. Like it's either voted on. We are who we are.
Let's vote on it. Let's vote on it. I'm just saying I don't like it. I
got it, but we got to move on.
That's up to Tony. I mean, that's what I think. I feel like we made a
'Cause we
rash
have
decision
tournaments
making the
coming up,
10U,
Martin. I gotta order uniforms
making
tomorrow.
choices after our workshop the next day. We didn't think about anything. I don't want to be, I feel like we should take a night to think about it. We can do a vote over I don't know, or have a workshop. I don't know. I don't want to hold you guys up if it's a time sensitive thing, fine. But
it is. We have a tournament in literally 2.5 weeks. We're trying to get our uniforms done, so I don't see an issue with it. I mean,
what about
all the people with skin in the game
is
don't
the
see
12U
an
gonna
issue
be
with it.
Rebellion?
they have a tournament, I'm
new
sure, in
one,
2 weeks too. They don't have time to order new uniforms.
I leave Ed be and let Ed be Ed because he's finishing up
the new one.
The new one, I think anyone new.
They're going to be in the
is-
same boat.
is
They're
gonna
going to have
be-
girls that are going to want to play up and down. I mean, that's going to be the same. I mean, I don't know, but I just would assume that's going to be their argument. If we say you have to change your name, they're going to say the same thing. Well, they look up to the older girls, or they're practicing together. So I mean, it is whatever. We have. I mean, I don't. If I lose, I lose. That's not an issue. I mean, it's not about that. I'm just expressing that I don't.
They're gonna be.
I wish there was more time to think of a name that everybody on this board, not the girls, not the parents, not the people that are coming that might be on the team in 6 months, but this board talks about and says, what does Royal Palm want to be called? What does Royal Palm want to be known as? Because I know you guys are going to put us on the board. I know you guys are going to be amazing. That's not a question. So but is that what we want to be
Forever.
named
I
for the
mean,
next however many years?
That's what all the softball people on this board want to be named. And we're the side that
I don't even
represents
love it. I want it for the girls because I know the girls love it. It's not about me. I want it for the girls. That's what they call themselves. They freaking go out there and flex. It's pretty cute when they they growl. I don't
But
care.
so it's still not gonna be uniform then. Is what we're getting at.
I feel like we're opening a can of worms if we tell everybody, which whatever, I'm fine with that too. If that, I mean,
Can I add one more thing?
of course.
In the USSSA, as the 8U and 10U division, we're known as the Beast. We are known because we came in, we were nobodies, we were Royal Palm All Stars. We came in, we played USSSA, and then came back as the fall as the Beast. We are known, whether we call ourselves the Beast or not, the 8U is going to be known right with the 10U, because we're we're all the same families. So that's, I mean, it kind of is already set whether it's voted on or not, because that's what they're known as. I'm going off Lexi. Like
I'm just saying, all
I
the
had
more
that
reason put an
conversation with
RPV on your
Glenn.
shirt.
I
That's my
had that
argument.
conversation with Glenn. It
I know.
is what it is, and I brought it to him, and I'm not, it's not something I just came up with. It's my daughter told me, no, we are not changing the name, and I was like, okay. So I went to Milan. I went to other girls, and they're like, no, that's who we are. I was like, okay.
All right, I think we need to go ahead and vote on this, in my opinion.
Just for the 8U
Um,
name, like that's what I'm getting at. We still not gonna have no uniformity. Is that what we let the rebellion and the new 12U be whatever they want to be too, or do they have to follow rebellions and you're forcing that hand?
so
That's all I'm saying.
yeah,
You're asking a lot of. You're gonna open up even more can of worms.
Not that whatever we decide is what we decide. I will not. I'm not. It doesn't
That's what I'm
matter.
saying. Are we
It doesn't matter to
deciding
me.
just for
But
8U?
if we go with beasts, I guarantee they're going to go. Which, if that's the case, then that's the case. But that's 2 teams in 12A that we're going to lose.
well,
They're already,
what
but I'm okay with it because nobody should be holding us hostage. But
Yeah.
it's
what I'm gonna suggest is that we really don't vote on a name. I mean, this is my opinion, but I think we need to approach it from a different angle on whether we want uniformity or not. And in my opinion, personally, I think it's too late for now.
too
I
late
think we let everybody be named whatever they want
for now. Yeah.
for now, and we can take this up later and for future seasons or whatever. But when we have time to all sit down and come up with maybe some other name that everybody thinks is cool, to be honest, I just think it's too late. I mean, and we already don't have the uniformity.
Yeah, but we could start that now.
What?
Uniformity. Let 12U be what they are and vote on a name, right? The name for anyone new now.
Well, so I mean,
I mean,
we're
you
really,
got- you
but
see what
specifically, we're only talking about 8U and I'm going to call it 11U. I don't like the years.
I'm saying leave 12U, 12U.
Right.
But them and under, let's vote on. I don't see why we can't vote on if we want the beast or not. Let the next season. Yeah, we'd all move up as
Wait.
the beast.
2 teams. And I guarantee they will walk. Which, whatever. Like I said, nobody's going to hold us hostage.
No, we're saying leave
but they
them
will.
the rebellion.
The 11. How do you 11U? Both 12Us. Yeah. They're going to want to stay the same.
No, we're saying let them stand. Let 12U stand, and I don't see why we can't vote on them being the beast. 8U.
Just them.
Just well, yeah, we're already are the beast.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I.
I mean, if you go,
That's what I guess that's what I'm saying. I think it's too late to try to make a decision on that.
yeah.
That's what. Right. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I think it's too late for right now
Okay.
to make that kind of a decision. So I'm saying we essentially postpone the name for the fall or whatever. But you have more time, and you have you have more time to get more opinions, and you're always gonna piss somebody off.
Always.
Yeah.
World we live in, nobody's gonna be happy. I mean, it's just I'm with Tony.
Honestly, I think if it wasn't for these uniforms being a thing, and we became, hey, you know what, we're gonna start fresh, get rid of Rebellion, get rid of Beast, pick a new name. If the uniforms weren't this far along, I think that would have been the issue right now.
Shoot for a rebrand in the fall.
That's what I'm saying. Postpone the whole rebrand
Get
thing.
more
Good
feedback.
compromise. Take some time.
So are we good with 8U being the beast then?
That's what I think.
For
That's
the
what we're
spring,
saying.
right?
So
For the season.
We'll say for now. We'll say for this season, for the spring,
See.
and we're gonna revisit
Sounds
down
good.
the road.
You gotta make a motion.
So let me. I guess that's a. I'm not sure that's an official motion, but yeah. So we're gonna allow. We're gonna. So let's be sort of specific. For the spring season, right? We're going to allow the teams to select their names, which we already know what they are. And then we're gonna revisit this for fall and future seasons.
Second.
Right, should start it.
Yeah,
after.
with not a week before we're ordering uniforms
Yes.
again in the fall.
Good deal.
At the end of regular games.
For spring.
All right, so for spring is kind of what we're saying, right?
Yep.
We're gonna allow the teams to keep the names they want to keep. Basically, keep the names they have, for lack of a better. Right.
You made it.
All right.
In Lexi and writing it out, when do you guys normally as a board workshop fall?
Right after the season.
Right after. Well,
Right
we
after
workshop
spring.
fall after fall. We workshop spring after spring. We'll have a workshop after the spring season.
For the next
Full,
season.
and it'll help for fall.
Right. So then in your timeline, you would want to do a parent workshop and a board workshop and however all of that to chew on all of this. When? June? May?
Well, we go right into all stars.
Yeah, but
Season
we had
ends.
the workshop. We had the workshop right after even during
Yeah,
All-Stars.
it's probably about a week after the season.
Right. So that would be your
Sometime in
agenda
May.
for new business at that meeting then.
Oh, that's a big meeting though. May is the voting and everything. We may not.
That's what I'm
It's-
saying. You guys should make that decision now and as you're putting it.
Because May is the yearly meeting.
Scope that.
Okay.
So that's when we would vote in new positions, all that kind of stuff. Is in May.
So then it should be whoever's voted in should be responsible for making the decision of the new branding of
So
the
then do it in
softball.
June.
Yeah,
do
after
the
that, yeah.
workshop late May, so that we could do the board meeting in June.
Perfect.
That works.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Peace,
Do you-
harmony.
You want to finish your motion? Sir?
Yeah, so let's make a motion to let everybody keep their names that they have essentially for the spring, and we're gonna revisit it in the workshop. We'll call it between seasons, and in an effort to get uniformity going forward.
Second and third that motion.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any objections? Okay, that was easy. Okay, scholarships. Let's talk about something else. Scholarships. How many do we want to give? What are the stipulations?
Or do we have a certain amount of people?
Yeah, does somebody know how many have requested?
We have a couple that you and I have talked about. I have
Is a couple like 2 or 3, or is a couple?
one from her. I know of two families with 3 kids that want.
I know one family
I mean,
that's trying to at least delay
scholarship.
payments.
we're talking about the same
Yeah.
family then.
I don't have
There's not really a way to do that, unfortunately, because there's nobody to follow that. The payment plan is already passed on our registration, and so there's no way to follow up on collecting the funds for that. So
And,
there's not
like,
really a
the
way.
reason why
So
this
we would
got
just want to
brought up
scholarship them.
Well, the reason why this got brought up is because there was last spring, I personally had a kid. I didn't know. I was manager all star. I picked him. They played all star. He got brand new gear. He got not from the league, somebody registered him. Somebody paid for all his gear and everything. Paid for all the all star season, but yet come draft and fall, literally the mom's notes was, please accept the scholarship, just like the year before. You just think that's. I'm not saying it's not going to happen. You know, you can get grandma and grandpa to buy gifts and stuff like that. But what we're trying to do is have them help the league somehow. Volunteer at the concession stand. Volunteer at opening day, like during evaluations. Come out there, help write numbers on a piece of paper. Something for the money, I guess you would say.
I agree,
What is
and I don't know how if this is. I mean, I guess we kind of need to know names that way we can discuss it. And I don't know if that's appropriate in this setting.
No,
So,
not a deal.
I don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, where and when do we discuss that?
Okay,
Kind of needs to
just
be more of a closed meeting.
for before I came on as secretary, it was a case by case. They had to send an email to admin and explain their situation, and it was a case by case. I don't know if the board voted or whatever. I mean, I don't think.
The comment section when they register.
What is it?
Now they're just throwing in their comments.
In the comments, yeah, which is hard to keep track of. So we can't, I mean, we had people at fall evaluation say, I'm supposed to be scholarship. And I'd be like, the new board had no idea what was going on with this.
Yeah, I don't.
I mean, I think if someone's willing to put it in an email, humble themselves enough to kind of ask for help, then we should give it. But at the same time, we always need people checking in for evaluations, like you said. So that would be a huge help. It's 2 hours of your time. And, I mean, then there's not, I don't know.
Listen, in the past, people have been scholarship. I don't have a problem. I'll stick my hand in my pocket right now.
Mm-hmm.
If there's a kid that wants to play and his parents don't have a job or whatever, if you guys know it's legit, bring it to my attention. I'll pay for it. I don't care.
Thank you.
I want the kid to play,
Of course.
but I want it legit, just like he said. I don't want him
Yeah.
saying, "Oh no, I did it. Oh no, you don't demand anything. You're in a jam. I'll help you out."
Mm-hmm.
And there's other guys out there the same way.
Of course.
Yeah, I don't think
Just
we.
find out who it is and if it's legit, and then call me.
Yeah, I
How do we know? I've got parents that are travel parents that are saying I need to have kid plays travel, but they need a scholarship.
No. So I don't think there should be a number. I don't think you can do that because you're gonna pick it. Let's say we pick 10, and here comes kid number 11.
Yeah.
I think they need to definitely write an email in. We need to keep track of it because if you ask for that one season, next season comes around 4 or 5 months later. It's not that you don't necessarily need it, but you probably could have done something. I mean, you could even go stand in front of Publix, and fundraise and make way more money than what you could buy the gear and everything else with it, So, I get it, the immediate, hey, I want to play baseball. Holy crap, we just lost our job, right? There's an immediate impact there where people may need it, even from one season to another where they paid last season, now they can't. But if it's a repeat offender, so to speak, I hate to use that term, but we should track that. Like that would be an example for that kid. It's like, hey, come on. And we already know better. So case by case, email for sure.
I'm just wondering. It doesn't seem as though there's already an established procedure.
Right.
So input to that should be an email. It's first and foremost
Explaining the hardship.
Right.
Yeah.
Second to the board should be a wait list if they're a previous recipient. I think it should be able to go to other people first, and then they should not necessarily come right off the list immediately, but other people should be able to come in ahead of them because they've received it previously. I do also think that some sort of number, I know you don't necessarily want to hard line that number, but financially on the board, I don't know what our numbers look like. This is my first meeting. So I don't know financially, can you handle
Yeah, half the league can't be
more?
sponsored.
Right. Can two players per age group, two players per team.
Right.
I think something along those lines should be established with the board approval. If you guys said it's a, you know, 5 kid maximum per age group, one per team, and then anything above that requires board approval, something along those lines. But I do think if this is an ongoing thing and seems as though it's an annual or a seasonal request, that you guys definitely need to chew on establishing rules moving forward, especially if a new board's coming in May. I mean, I don't know how many of you guys are repeats on the board, but I know in being in a board setting previously where no rollover has come with previous people coming in and it's been a whole brand new board and everything's just shoved in your plate and here you guys have this to do. So I feel like a duty of you guys moving forward, should give some sort of outline to new board members coming in.
Also, can we reach out to some of the ones that email and see if they could do partials?
Last season, they were required to pay $50 to cover uniform and insurance. So even if they got a scholarship, they still paid $50.
Right, and I think something like that should also
So they got
either a 6-hour mandatory volunteer, 6 hours over the season. That way you guys are getting it back either as needed or in the concession stand. 15U concession stand always needs people. Just as a thing, a parent of a 15U for the last 6 seasons with no one up there. Sorry. But I'm just saying, so I do think you guys should establish either a financial obligation and or a volunteer compensation.
I like the volunteer thing. Oh. Thank you. Thanks.
So that'd
We
be
have one family of 3.
I have a family of 2. And then you're keeping track. And then that one,
Talking
that
less-
one
less
that
than
you
10,
were,
right?
but there's a couple, I mean, I know last season there was a few families, one I think was a softball player, and they came at the day of evaluations and said, I'm supposed to be sponsored, a scholarship. And I didn't know about it at the time. I mean,
So
we
that
have
sounds
to-
entitled. We need
Yeah.
to figure it out before they have evaluation. That way they're on the roster.
Okay.
They need to write an email.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to. They need
So if they come to us, okay.
They can't come to expecting because, just like she said, if we do give out 10, 12, 20, whatever
Yeah.
it is, we got 20 people and this guy's had it for 3 seasons. It's time to get number 22 up there.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. So do we advertise that we're?
No.
You don't want to. No. Well, I mean, how do these people that have never? I obviously don't want to advertise. That's not what I meant. But I mean, how do these people that are going to show up on evaluations? That mom. I can't think of her name.
You guys
I
know,
can't.
and I guess we.
The ones that we know about in advance, obviously, we'll tell them this is what we need to have done. But like the people that just show up and say, "Well, I've always been on scholarship."
Well, then,
okay, well.
I mean, I don't know. I still got access to comments from fall.
I mean, I can look up any old emails, everything.
If we got comments from people that registered this time, even if we got to reach out to them.
Okay,
they write in their comments, and then we'll follow them up. Write an email to them from the admin.
This is the procedure voted on by the board. We appreciate you asking for.
Or how about instead of
this is what this is the requirements for you to
that,
be
or
considered for a scholarship.
instead of advertising it as
Yeah.
on the
I don't-
website,
yeah.
but maybe Mr. PDF over here, Tony, can write, make a template, put it as one of the documents, and just be like scholarship criteria form or
Okay,
something,
that's a good
something like
idea.
that. They click on it, you know.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, I understand what you're trying. That's what I'm with you. Like, how do we? What is it? They'll find it. Yeah.
I think that any sort of word of mouth obviously is gonna do that. I mean, do you, if we only have 5 coming into this season, I would try to look in some sort of archive, an archive
Yeah,
of
I'm
a
gonna
system to
do that.
see how many.
Have
you
been
know.
given before. Okay.
Yeah,
Try to touch base.
because I mean, like you said, if it's the same family, but I do think a stipulation should be, if they're expecting to play travel, not all star, but travel,
Yeah.
because going into all star, that's not necessarily a choice, but that's a coach saying, hey, your kid, it's pretty decent. I'd like to keep him for the summer, versus travel that is expected and anticipated to be an expense. I don't think anybody on travel should be allowed. I think that that's when it needs to fall in. If you're good enough to play, then you're gonna have to fundraise to get on this team.
Okay.
So I do think you guys do have to have a stipulation, or at least a hard line of an absolute no.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think this requires a vote or
No,
anything.
no,
Right?
no.
We're just throwing ideas out.
Do it, yeah.
I think for now. I mean, for now, the ones that we know of, definitely have them write the email, and that's gonna be sort of a policy. I don't
Can you
know.
look at comments now, like people that registered that already put their comments.
Not on my phone. On the laptop, I can. But
Yeah.
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 You know what I mean? Like, oh, he plays with him because of the ride. Like, we're allowed to look at comments like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if there's to your point earlier, if there's a total random at walk up, it's like a no at that
Yeah.
point. You need to send an email in.
Yeah.
Like you can't. You're
They
not
still have to
really.
have some
you-
kind of registration.
Yeah, you're not giving them an answer at walk up registration or
Okay.
whatever it is.
Yeah, and if you're uncomfortable, to say it's something that the board decides on,
Okay.
Yeah.
so they don't
Gotta be
put
brought
it
up,
on.
yeah.
I
Okay.
can't make that
I mean,
decision.
you can see
I
people
gotta
that
make
registered and haven't paid yet, right? And maybe it would behoove us to just reach out to them as a friendly reminder, like, hey, registration closing up, you need to pay, and then maybe they'll start the communication back and forth to be
Okay.
like, well, listen, I
We need help,
assumed
yeah.
that was a scholarship because I was last, like, then we
Okay.
could explain.
Yeah, and I don't think we want to post it anywhere, to be honest.
No. Okay. I mean, obviously.
The
and
people who haven't paid, right? To your point, when you reach out to them and
That's
say,
fine.
"Hey, it's time to pay," they'll.
You can't. Well, I don't know that I'll. I don't even. I don't think they. Oh no, they do show up for me. I mean, I have to go in and specifically look for.
There's stuff in there that shows things that are not paid. I don't know what. I mean, I'm assuming that's what it is. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, the $50.
It's possible. I'm not sure.
I know we had a payment plan.
There is a payment plan, but in the past, I would have to go in and give them a discount because I don't think there's not like a code or something
Right.
on this program.
Yeah, you got to do it
That
like
they
on
put
the
in a
back
coupon
end.
code to get. I have to go in. They have to go up to the cart and then I adjust
Right.
the cost with the discount. Okay.
All right.
So they're sending an email, but we're not going to require volunteer hours,
All right.
or is it case by
It
case?
has to be.
I think we can. What do we know for sure that we could use help with?
Evaluations,
Yeah, no, that's
100%.
part of the.
Well, like
tables. We need a table at every age division.
Right.
We did all the rules, so it's gonna be on.
Okay.
Or I mean, Karen in concession. What's that? Uniform. Any of those? Yeah, pictures. We've got. Yeah, just a second set of hands.
He's gonna get.
Well, no, I mean you're right. You're right. I mean, Karen, the concession manager would always be there, but like you're right. You're
Let's
right,
just
Martin.
use them for evals for this
For
season.
evals. And opening night, are we? Well, when we get to that, but opening night, any evaluations and or
Yeah. Or
one or the other? Does everybody
I think
feel
as long
good?
as they show up for something for
Okay.
an hour or two, it shows
Coach.
at least an effort to, you know,
Yeah,
to do something.
Garbage duty.
it works.
Okay. Speaking of evaluations, um, time breakdowns.
You have
Hard
Well,
enough.
actually, a couple things before we even get into that. Can I get agreement for everybody on the board to be evaluators? And I mean, I know you guys are gonna, like we'll have to split up because I think we are gonna have softball and baseball at the same times. But what I don't want is to have multiple divisions at the same time, like we've had before, because T-ball always gets hosed. We usually let T-ball like do their own thing, but then there's not enough people there, and then the scores are
Well,
bad.
Amy had brought up having non-biased people
Right.
at her evaluation, at softball evaluations, and I 100% foresee what you're talking about. I am 100% agreement in that. We need baseball people that don't know anybody that can say she really is perfectly fine in that division.
Yeah, the problem is getting people to do it.
I know.
I love the idea.
if we're going to overlap baseball and softball, can we keep the divisions? Like if we're going to do 8U baseball, let's do 8U softball, because most likely if someone does have a kid in baseball, hopefully they'll be in a division below that or above that, so they can
Be different times.
yeah. So do 8U at the same time, 10U at the same
Yeah,
time.
that's fine.
12U that way. And I'm there all day, so doesn't matter.
Yeah, and it's hard to tell people from the other divisions to do it because they just want to be there to do their personal eval. Right, and it's
So
I
they
mean
can get ones, the other tens.
it's understandable, but
Softball evals are fair too.
Can it not
Softball
They're on the same
evals
day,
are
yeah.
all at Willis.
Can we not make it a requirement
You
if
wanna-
you're going to be a coach? You have to do an evaluation of another division. Can you not make it part of the requirements for coaching?
We'd have to be clear on the
We
background
can-
check, so however that works out, can't be on the field without that.
Our managers for the teams are eval their kids before they necessarily have a background check. Because background checks don't get done until usually after the season.
Before games
Or,
start,
Yeah,
yeah.
before games start. So,
Yeah.
I mean, we get some new manager, he's not going to be background check while he's evaling the kids.
But he's not.
But there's enough
He's
of
not
us
alone.
out there
Yeah,
that'll
he's not
murder him
alone.
if he
He's
does
at that
something.
point.
What?
It's a matter. They do it on their own. It's when they log back in. We just
Yeah, we're keeping track of that too.
yeah. We just need to have a. It's a matter of
I like the idea of making them require them to do, let's say, the division
Below or
below
above?
them.
You would assume below just because they're going to be familiar with it.
I mean, even a lot of the assistants we have, just at 10U, for instance, I mean, most of them have been coaching baseball for 4, 5, 6 seasons. So,
Right.
I mean, they'd
they
be
know.
more than qualified to do 8U or 12U.
So worst case, you got to be out there for like 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah.
You do the
That's 8 hours.
earlier one, and you're gonna be wanting to sit in on your own.
Mhm.
Whether you're evaluated or not, take your notes if you're a coach.
Right.
Like if we allow, if we're saying 8U, no, you can't say no 8U coach evaluates, but you know what I mean. Like if we're trying to make it more biased, where not every 8U coach is the evaluator, and that's it. They don't have them go do a different division at that time because they still want to take their own notes at least. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. We're gonna have separate times anyway. The only problem will be if we have baseball, softball, parent. Yeah,
If
like
you need an 8U, if you need me, for 10U,
Oh my gosh, you have a lot of 10U coaches.
yeah.
That's gonna
Well,
be
we
fun.
need people
That's
running
gonna
the
be fun.
evaluation too. I mean, how many guys
Yeah.
does it take to run, let's say, an 8U evaluation?
Yeah.
A couple, 3.
Yeah,
We
true.
can put something out to
evaluators.
offer for like high school kids if they'll. I mean, we don't
Community
usually get that much
service.
feedback, but
A lot
We
of
can-
high schools need community service.
put that out there.
Well, we could reach reach out to just I still have the 10U
Out to take care of it
vision.
all.
I mean, I could reach out to every one of those coaches, which was 5 managers, and then have them reach out to their assistants. You know what I mean?
Departments.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, we'll
that's a
figure
lot.
the evaluators out. Let's get times though, which is really what.
It's kind of hard until we get a number, right? Like, can you,
We want to table it, talk about it. Yeah.
you get what I'm saying? Like, you don't.
Yeah.
Like, what do you say for a group of 10 people? How long does it take, roughly?
What division?
For kids, you mean kids?
Yeah,
10 kids.
8 you. You know?
I mean, we've always typically done what, like between an hour and a half for a division.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess we don't really have to pick times right now, as long as we just know we're gonna get them all done the same day, and they're gonna be separately blocked. There won't be multiples of the same.
Okay.
Well, and here's the thing too: is if we have enough, which we should, we probably could block it. You know, let's count our divisions for count our hours of daylight. Oh, I guess we got night. I hope not. But you know, we can instead of splitting up division, we can split up the divisions on the same field. You know, if we have enough evaluators.
Yeah.
You know, like 10,
True.
10 we got 25 people.
No, I think we're all right. I mean, we'll be able to get them done. Okay, we can table that till we get better idea of numbers. I'm thinking we start at 9 though. 9 a.m. No, I'll start any earlier than that, but
Especially, you know, you got a softball only has 10 people on it, or 2 teams.
yeah.
Yeah.
You can knock them out in 30 minutes and
Yeah.
start instead of breaking it down hour blocks. You can literally do a half-hour block.
Oh yeah, no, for those we do. I think we had something like that last year. We waited till we had the numbers. We had some that were like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. Opening ceremonies, parade, vendors. That was we kind
Kind
of
of
talked
said
about that.
we already talked about that being
little
like a
bit.
Cooperstown fundraiser, or yeah. We want to do the whole thing, parade. We want to make teams do a parade. Okay.
The parade was like a really cool thing that used to bring in families from like outside the baseball, softball, because I never played softball in Royal Palm, but I remember going to it.
Yeah.
They used to shut down Okeechobee Boulevard. I don't know if we're gonna get
get
that fancy,
Yeah, no.
but
We just
That's what
maybe
I was
Brandon
gonna say.
can work some-
Parade. With the time, I don't think a parade will be able to be approved.
we
Too
just
much
meant the like
logistics.
having the
yeah,
kids.
no,
The
I,
kids do the
I
parade
remember
around
it
the
when
field.
it was on Okeechobee,
Oh,
but
around the field, yeah.
around the field is cool too,
Yeah.
especially for the like, younger kids.
Hey, I don't know what to say
Brandon,
about
work
that
some
one.
magic.
Yeah, it'll
work some
be
magic.
so we'll just go back to the typical thing we used to do. All the teams have a
All
little
teams
banner,
have a banner.
which you buy like a flag. It's the easiest way to do it.
Yeah, for your team.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then they walk out as a team. They get announced.
Okay.
Everybody's on the field at the same time. I don't know if the mayor usually gives some kind of speech or.
Hey, they know the mayor. They know the mayor.
Yeah. That's a
Whole other thing.
it's like a uniform thing.
He already. I mean, it's. Yeah, no.
No.
Jerry, he has just things that are already made, and that's what we've always just kind of gone with. We tried. What is it that you're? I mean, what do you want? What are you looking for?
I know the softball was looking like they wanted to be like college.
I mean, I can ask Jerry if that's an option.
Phipps does that.
I like that too. Mhm. Yeah, we could. The match, yeah, we can definitely. I mean, I gotta go see him.
You can ask him. I don't know if that'd be feasible. Right
I
now.
can ask
mean,
him
it's
everything. Yeah, I can.
possible.
If
It's not the
yeah.
order yet, but at least fall, if not this season.
Okay. We start also while I'm at, real quick. Sorry to jump, but Do you want to go back to the jerseys, the sleeveless jerseys? Okay, I think so too. Okay. And do we want to allow that purple? It was dark. Couldn't really see anything, but some kids liked it. What do you want to do? Okay. Different colors. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah, I think somebody just needs to go figure out
Okay.
what our options are.
Yeah. So softball wants to do Olivia.
And get the teams for
Julia-
because
Julia-
they change a little bit. See
Yeah.
what teams are available for baseball, all that stuff.
Yeah. Olivia Guyon, I don't know her last name, but she is going to do uniforms this season.
Oh, okay.
I already talked to Crystal. Crystal's fine with it, and she is fine with it too.
Okay.
Olivia, she's going to take on uniforms. She was
Cool.
she was here at the last board meeting. Blonde hair. She had a bun. She wants to help. That's a good way to kind of get her in.
One thing, did we get baseballs and softballs ordered?
They're all on order.
Yeah.
Like a couple weeks ago.
Hopefully that'll come.
COVID protocols.
Is there anything new that we need to do?
Brandon.
No, nothing currently. I mean, no, I think I mean, we're looking at still the same we were in the fall and the kind of spring last year. Those same protocols, just to try to keep it some sort of
Distant.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's where we are with those. No change from the fall season.
All right. Open mic. I think it's been open all night, but last call for open mic.
I just want to make sure, because I had mentioned to him previously that as a home, or even visiting, but as a parent that has assisted many managers in my many seasons at Royal Palm, to try to do like a slender version of that division's rules in the scorebook.
Yes.
That was approved, yes?
They all updated the rules, but somebody had mentioned it.
We're gonna do a printout.
A little cheat sheet.
Yes, I had
a
asked-
cheat sheet of the
Coach.
rules. That
Coaches
was
meeting.
that's the question because the bat rules.
Right, because
yeah.
like the pitch count, the catcher,
Royal
the
Palm,
fifth inning
yeah.
or 5 inning thing, and the catcher can't catch after third. That
Yeah.
whole thing, I just was okay. So, like I said, I had side questioned Dustin.
That
but
we can slide into the coach packet, so to speak, along with the
Right, I mean,
conduct
I couldn't
stuff
tell
and
you
all.
how many times I was pulling up rules on my phone, but I just feel like, because some parents don't know how to do that book, and especially me moving from 8 to 10, going from coach to kid pitch, is, I knew the 12U and the 15U rules, but I had no clue on the 10U rules, and there was a situation near the end of this fall season in regards to pitch count, so that's why it was.
Fall. Yeah. Well, that's what. Well, technically, even a ball that's pitched and the umpire calls a dead ball or no pitch, that still counts as for your pitch count. So,
Oh, I've always counted that as a pitch count, but
Yeah.
that's just me. I didn't know any better. But I don't know if there's a financial obligation or burden to the board in regards to putting those rules or even a sticker.
paper. It's environmental. That's all.
Well, I'm just saying.
Save the trees.
I mean, I'm willing to volunteer my time to print and label. So if that needs to be written,
You're my girl. You're my girl. I need your
Oh.
number.
yeah, I'll make sure I get you my information.
Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else? Going once, going twice. I've motioned to end the meeting.
Second,
Second.
third.
Fourth.
In favor.
Aye.
Aye.